Hello everyone. Thank you for your queries. What did ask me? The usage of am, is, are, and do and does. Yeah, am, is, are the auxiliary helping verb present tense, and do and does is the helping verb in simple present tense. So you asked me like where do we use and how do we use it? So you're a bit confused with that. Let me explain you with a couple of examples so that you can understand much better. My dear ones, you are most welcome to ask anytime about the doubts, whatever you have, and I will be glad to explain to you. Let me explain first how do we use am, is, are, and later we'll push on to do and does. I'll share the screen. So here, am, is, are, was, were, will be. It's called as auxiliary verb. In a layman's language, it is called as helping verb. So as you know, when the subject is I, we use in present tense am, in past tense we use was, future tense we use will be. When the subject is singular, like he, she, it, or when you have a singular name, it could be like my brother, or it could be his sister, or it could be your husband, but the subject is singular. In present tense we use is, past tense we use was, and future tense we use will be. And when the subject is plural, like you, we, they, I would like to remind you that you, these consider always as plural. Yeah, you, we, they. In present tense we use are. In past tense we use were, and future tense we use will be. So these verbs are called as helping verb, not the main verb. Why do we? For example, if I say like she busy, if I say she busy, how do we know whether it is now or it was or it will be future? We don't know that. So when we use here either is or if we use was or when we use will be, it shows whether the present, yeah, past, yeah, future. So this am, is, are, yeah, was, where, will be is just acting as a verb but not the main verb. So let me go with like this. So I'll make it as she is busy. When I just said she busy, you are unable to find out whether it's a present, your past, your future. So when I say she is busy, it shows it's a present tense. These verbs are only the helping verbs, not the main verbs. They are just like an acting verb. You can see a couple of examples here. She will be busy now. You are busy. So you, even if a single person or more than one, you is always considered as plural. So don't get confused. When most of people get confused with you, they start using is to mention for one person. You is always to be considered as plural. So they were busy. So they were doing it, right? This is how we use as a helping verb, not the main verb. And in forming questions, when you want to make questions, it's called an yes or no questions. People say you in the house in a short form. You can. Some people also say that you are in the house. The standard format is are you in the house. So when you make questions, the helping verb should come in the beginning. Are, then comes subject to you and the rest of the sentence in the house. The answer is yes, then you get subject, and then you get helping verb I am in the house. So don't go in this format. You in the house. You are in the house. Right? This is the best form where you can use it, easy to use. Are you in the house? The negative, no, I am not, or I aren't in the house. Now, she your friend. This is a beginning stage of speaking English. She your friend. Some people also ask, she is your friend. They also use in this way, like she is your friend. The best way is get the helping verb first. When you make questions, get the helping verb before the question. Is she your friend? Now, when you're giving answer, it can be like this. No or yes, subject, then the word helping verb is my friend. She is my friend. Positive answer. Negative is no, she is not or she isn't my friend. Make a note. When you want to make questions through helping verbs, get the helping verb before the subject. And when you are giving a statement in a sentence format, the helping verb should be after the subject. For example, I good teacher. What does it mean? The helping verb is missing, right? Some people, they say, I am a good teacher. It's a question. But how do we know it's a question? Until you put a question mark. So get the helping verb here, the first one, am, next, subject I, then the rest of the sentence. Am I a good teacher? Now your answer is yes, you will subject you, then the helping verb are, you are a good teacher. No, you are not or aren't a good teacher. So this is all about the helping verb. I hope this is clear for you. If you notice, I never used any main verbs in this chapter. So now you have a doubt how to use do and does, when to use do and does. I understand am, is, are is also the verb, helping verbs which we use, as well as do and does is also used in present tense. So when we use do and does, you know what do you mean by present tense are. Now I'm going for the main verbs. When you have main verbs, you can use do or does. This way. For example, these are main verbs. Like I give an example here. You know what is present tense, as I told you in the previous video. Simple present, nothing but the routine or daily activities, habits or customs or general facts. Like the routine activity, what do you do exactly? Wake up, prepare, eat, cook, mop, wash, sleep, then official words, check, allocate, report. These are things which we use. So these are called as verb in the first form, or called as main verbs. So we make it as V1. And next one we have, and we use verb in the first form when the subject is first person and more than one. I mean to say the subject is I and when the subject is more than one, like we, you, they. We also use here in simple present tense verb in yes or es or ies formations. For example, wakes, prepares, eats, cooks, mops, washes, sleeps. Here I've just added up all yes. I've given plurals for the everyone. So we call this as V5. It's very easy to understand. So when you say what is V5, V5 is nothing but for the V1 verb, we add yes or es or ies. So we use V5 for when the subject is singular, like he, she, it, or singular name, right? The structure for simple present tense is subject, verb in the first form or verb in plurals, and the rest of the sentences. Probably this example will be helpful for you. Like, I check mails and allocate work to them. I is the first, the subject. So I made verb in the first form here, V1. Because the subject is first person I. I check mails and also, even this is also the verb, allocate, right? This also make it as first form because the subject is one. Here I made we discuss among ourselves and clarify each one's doubt. So when I said we, I use the verb again in V1 because we is plural. And you have another verb called as clarify. These are specially used for working people. Okay, and again I used here, we deliver the file to the client at the end of the day. We is plural, so I used here deliver because the verb, the subject is in plural. Sorry, it is in V1. Sorry, it's V1, not here. V1, yeah, here it is, again V1. Let me go very simple, small example here. Ushi cooks well. Ushi is singular, so I use a verb called cooks because the subject is singular and the verb what I used is V5. The next example, Surakshi and Ushi. The subject is plural, so I use a verb in singular. Here I used plurals because the subject was singular, so the verb was plural. Whereas in this case, the subject is plural, Surakshi and Ushi. It's in plural, so I use a verb in singular. I and my husband cook sometimes. When I say I and my husband, it's I and my husband is second, there are two persons there, right? When the subject is plural, the verb should be in singular. I and my husband cook sometimes. Here the next one I say, my husband, right? My husband helps me in the kitchen. The subject is singular. So the verb is in plural. My husband helps me in the kitchen. Same. My neighbors. When I say neighbors, I'm not talking about one neighbor. It's more than one. My neighbors. The subject is plural. So the verb is in singular. My neighbors speak Tamil. My friend, here the subject is singular. My friend calls me every day. If I put yes here, I should use call. But I cannot use call. I have to use call. The reason is the subject is singular. So this is simple present tense. So simple present, first you should understand what even simple present tense, nothing but a daily routine activity or some kind of a habits or customs or general facts. The examples what I've given you must be quite easy to understand. Keep a note, when the subject is singular, one person, the verb is in plural. It becomes like cooks, eats, sleeps, gives, takes. Right? When the subject is more than one, like as I told you, Surakshi and Ushi. It's more than one. I used the verb in singular. And I said, yeah, my neighbors. It's more than one. I used verb in singular. Probably, I think you're clear now. And yeah, now the queries are for this. Where do we use do and don't and does and doesn't? Okay. Here, does your, in this case, let me explain you this more easier way. Okay. Yeah. Do you live in Bangalore? Okay. The first question. The same one. Let me go this one. Are you in Bangalore? Okay. The common word what we got is here you and in and Bangalore. These are common. You is common, in is common, and Bangalore is common. Okay, let's see that. In this year I used are, and whereas here I used do. This is the confusion people asked me last time. Where do we use do and does, and where do we use am, is, are? That's a brilliant question. See, I can tell you, when you have verb, right? When there is a verb, you need to use do. Or you can also say when you want some general informations, right? You can use do or does. In this case, do you live in Bangalore? There is a verb here, we, right? When there is a verb, please use do or does depending upon the subject. For example, do you live in Bangalore? Does your friend, or you forget a friend, does Anu live in Bangalore? Right? So I used do and does for this question. Let me go with this another one. Is she in Bangalore? Okay. In both the case, I used here I used do and here I used does, depending upon the subject, because subject was you, so I used do, and here subject was a third person Anu, so I used does. The reason for do and does is because there is a verb existing in both the sentence. When there is a verb, please use do and does in simple present tense. I'm talking about the simple present tense chapter. In this case, this is also simple present tense, but I'm using the helping verb are and is. Here there is no verb at all. Are you in Bangalore? There is no verb. When there is no verb, please use are. So, is she in Bangalore? There is no verb, but I used is depending upon the subject. Let me give you some more example. Uh, um, is she beautiful? Right? Is she beautiful? Of course, I used is depending upon the subject. Okay. In this case, she beautiful, right? Is there any verb? If I ask a question like this, does she dress beautifully? In this case, I used does. The reason is dress. Does she dress beautifully? Here, I used dress as a there's a verb in the sentence. That's the reason I used does. Is she beautiful? There is no verb. So straight away, I used helping verb am, is, are. I used is depending upon subject because beautiful is a adjective. Okay, little more, some more examples. Are you late? Are you late? You must be clear now why I used are. There is no verb, there's an adverb here, and therefore I used are depending upon the subject. Another example. Do you come late? Do you come late? When I asked, do you come late? Yeah, come is a verb. When there is a verb, it's a present tense. I have to choose whether should I use do or does depending upon the subject. As is come over here, so my choice is to use do or does. Now, because it is you, I started using do here, right? If you want to know some more examples, I can give you a few more. Yeah. Are they good players? Are they good players? Okay. Again, good is an adjective. There is no verb over here, right? So in this questions, I need to use a helping verb am, is, are, and I chose are because the subject is they. I cannot say do they play good. When I ask do they play good, play is a verb. As play is a verb, I need to choose do or does. Here I chose do because the subject is they. I hope you're clear with this. This is how we can differentiate how to use am, is, are, and do and does. Uh, you need not wait to ask me questions for a long time. Whenever you have queries in my videos, please put your comment below my videos so that I can explain you much better. I'll see that probably all your doubts are being cleared. I think most since last week they have been texting me in Messenger and they have to call me also. Ma'am, you just explained the simple present tense, but you didn't tell me how do we use this am, is, are, and do and does. I hope it's clear now. I appreciate all your queries. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye bye. God bless you.